first item on the... All right, so let's start the meeting at 7:07, July 9th. Thanks everyone for coming. I hope you're all safe and haven't been too poorly affected by pandemic and everything else going on. But as a commission, it's nice to get together and try to move forward with some positives in our town and try to move some of our agendas forward and see what we can do once everything clears up a little bit. So the first item is public comment. Like Betsy said, we didn't get any emails with any comments, so we can pass right through that. And item number 2 is a review of the minutes. And if we only have 4 of us, oh, do we have 5?
Yeah.
5 now.
We have 5.
Who's
So
on?
we can, hi, Cleo. So should we, does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes from February? Has everyone had a chance to review them? They were attached in Betsy's email.
I printed them. Yeah, I did review them, actually. I didn't find any mistakes. I'm usually a stickler for mistakes.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Got a motion from Debbie to approve the minutes.
I'll second it. Cleo?
A second from Cleo. Any discussion? Are all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And so we'll pass the February minutes unanimously. And then the June minutes, which was last month's meeting. I guess Sean wasn't there, but the rest of us were. Is that enough for us to approve those?
Yeah, and Sean could vote on it too. He could
He
say, yeah, I mean, it's a little awkward, but legally it's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Sean and Toby, right?
Oh, true. So can I get a motion to approve the June 2020 minutes?
I'll make a motion.
I will second.
Great. Thanks, Cleo. And any discussion on the minutes? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So we passed the February 2020 and the June 2020 minutes. Next on the agenda item is the update on the survey of local businesses. I know that we added some questions regarding the pandemic and COVID-19 and how businesses have been affected by it. Do we want to go over those particular items, and were there any other changes other than that?
So those are the only changes that I added. I think it was just the 2 or 3 on there that I added. But how's everybody thinking about that? Does this still make sense given what we're all going through?
Yeah, I just wish it was still a little shorter. I just don't want people to have fatigue and not want to complete it. But I think it has what it needs.
I mean, would it be more effective to have the COVID questions be sort of foremost, only because it would be helpful to know what's going on with people, and then have a couple other questions that are a little more general as to, cut this down to maybe 10 questions.
Are you saying saying group those few in the beginning, or either at the end or the beginning, and then try to truncate the rest?
Yes, you said it better than I did.
I mean, my take on it is, I know we tried really hard to, make it shorter, and it's a little over 3 pages. I don't know. I mean, I like the idea of throwing the COVID-related questions, up front.
So that's number 4, 5, and 11. 17. No, 17 is different. 4, 5, 11,
and
They're highlighted. 17.
part of 17.
Part of
Yeah.
17, right?
4. Well, 5's not highlighted, but that's one of them, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's okay. 4, 5, 11. I don't see 17.
It's
So
one of
in-
the, it's the fifth option of the answers of 17.
It says
Oh,
the economic.
Oh, actually, no, it's highlighted, but it doesn't.
It's not COVID related, right?
Right, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Directly, yeah.
Okay.
Because we're talking about that tonight about the marketing for Woodbridge, so it'd be helpful that
Mhm.
Yeah.
that's where that was added.
And my larger question about this is obviously we were working on this pre-pandemic and we had no idea what was coming. Do you guys think, I'm wondering, I guess I'm wondering if you guys think that this is still relevant in its current format because so much is up in the air. I mean, does it make sense to try and survey people now before things? I don't know what the best course of action is.
Well, my take on it is I sat in a Greater New Haven Chamber of Commerce EDC meeting the other day. It was yesterday, actually. And the general outlook on the state that was given by the folks from all around the state that were there is not that positive in any which way you shape it based on what's been happening with business. So my take would be to, if we're going to do this, then do it in a way that we want to know how you've been affected and what we can do to help, and just sort of make the survey sort of geared around, we know you've been affected. We're thinking about you. How can we, what can we do to rally around your business and help you drive some, new business going forward? The other questions at this point, because everything's different. Restaurants aren't really open per se; they're half open, and I agree. I sort of agree. I mean, it's a weird. The temperature now is not where it was, 5 months ago.
You think we want to wait till the fall? I mean, let's see what happens in October, because August is a rough time to get to people anyway. Even if we were to fine tune this, we wouldn't really want to disseminate it in August.
Maybe we should wait until at least phase 3 is, Connecticut's in phase 3, because that's delayed now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to Betsy's original point, it just seemed like the data is skewed because of COVID, and that I'm not necessarily sure if that's going to serve the purpose of how we intended to use the data. But like to Jeremy's point, which I think is really important, if there's a way that we can come up, if there's a way we can hypothesize projects that we can actually do as an EDC that fall underneath our objective, that we think are feasible for us to do during this COVID time, and then tailor questions or look for question answers that
I would
provide
table
information for that. Yeah, I think that'd be useful.
I agree with Toby and Cleo, and maybe we table it until September, and then we can see how we can get it out in October, and hopefully the world looks better in October.
Do we want to utilize the interns working with Betsy to make some phone calls to ask, just to do these temperature checks on businesses, just so they can?
I didn't know there were interns. That's exciting. I remember we talked about that last time.
Yes, so we are very lucky. We've got 2 interns working with us. Ryan Anastasio, who I think might actually be videotaping the meeting tonight and listening in. So hi, Ryan, if you're there. And Deepak Gupta. So Ryan is interested in government and broadcast journalism. So his skills are great in terms of interviewing and just an interest in how things work. And Deepak is interested in economics and international relations. So he helped me last summer. So they both agreed to start helping making the phone calls that we talked about last month, in terms of just that very, very, very short survey. Are you open? Are you operating differently? Are you fully staffed? And is there anything we can do to help? And then also gathering emails for any businesses that might not be on our email list. So I think that's going to be incredibly useful, because if there are a lot of folks who say, we need help getting PPE, or we need help with marketing, or whatever it is, we'll have that data. I was only able to call all of letter A, so I don't have a lot of data just yet. I'm not sure how far those of you who volunteered to make calls, I'm not sure how far any of you got, but I didn't get anything conclusive, which, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I made a couple of B calls and mainly left messages, sent a couple of emails. I did hear back from Kate Brown, and she said she was very busy virtually, and now she's almost back to her pre-COVID capacity now that she's back open.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good. And she said there's nothing specific she needs, but she appreciated the outreach. And I think that's
Do you know
that's a key part of it.
is she working in her space inside, or is she doing a lot
Yeah.
more outdoor workouts?
I've seen her outside with a couple of clients. Here's her. I'm just looking at my computer. If I look strange, that's what I'm doing. Let's see. She was able to do a bit of virtual training during the shutdown. Happy to be back up and running and up to her regular client load. Any and all help in keeping it that way is appreciated. Betsy Yagla did a wonderful job keeping us all connected and making sure our information on the town website was correct. I don't have specific requests at this time, but we'll certainly stay in touch.
Great.
So I think the ones that you can get to at least appreciate the effort.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
So the other item that I've asked the interns to help with is last month we talked a bit about marketing and how, a lot of the businesses in town just need clients and funding to keep their doors open and pay the rent. And so we'd been trying to figure out, what could we do to help. And so I was looking around at some other towns and chambers and what they're doing. And the interns are going to help me with something that I'm tentatively calling Business of the Week. And they will help either by videoing a short interview with the business owner or taking photos to visually show what shop owners, restaurants, and other service providers are doing to make sure that customers are safe. And hopefully that inspires confidence to make people feel like they can go out and support our local businesses. So that's the other thing that they'll be helping with.
That's great. Is there a way that we can, the interns or whatever, gather the Facebook pages of all the towns, of all the, the retail? I guess it's hard because just in marketing, it would be great to just promote their Facebook pages or Instagram pages or whatever it may be. But how do you figure who you're going to promote? I mean, the retail businesses seem obvious, but there may be office. I don't know. I'm like second guessing myself now that I'm saying it. It's a big task if you're going to try to gather all the social media for all businesses in town, because
I think it's doable if everyone rotates. I mean, the post Betsy did on Tuesday for the new pizza truck, I mean, that took off.
Yeah, that was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, so many shares, so many likes. And then when I shared it to Woodbridge Bethany Forum or someone else shared it to Amity Foodies or whatever it was shared to, it just kept getting reshared and reshared. So I guess it's up to Betsy's bandwidth with the interns of how many posts, and does it go from a retail to a dentist to an insurance to a restaurant, and what's the flow?
Yeah.
Because once a week, it'll take a year to get everybody through.
Absolutely. And the challenge, of course, is that there's other things that I have to post on,
Right.
on the
Of course.
Facebook too. So what I have been doing, to your point, Jeremy, is on Takeout Tuesday, I've got a list of the restaurants, and I'm just like making little hand notations on which week I did something about them. And I'm going through, for the ones that do have Facebook, going through and checking to see which one has something more recent. And of course, it's just like anybody, some of them are very active on social media and some of them are not there at all. So I can't share something from, 2018. But in that case, I'm like tagging their Facebook page and linking to a menu.
So good.
But so it's a little haphazard. But I'm also, trying not to just share the ones that are active.
No, I think you're doing a very good job.
Thanks.
You're so exhausted.
I just feel like whatever I do isn't, making a dent. It's just a little frustrating, and I feel a little like I'm grasping at straws. Like, how are we supposed to help these people? I mean, you
I
just
think
can't
that's what
cash.
everyone's
That's
doing.
what they need.
I think it's what everyone's doing across the, well, not necessarily across the country, but across our part of the country and across Connecticut. It's just, I think people are just trying to figure out how they can how they can help each other get back on, solid ground and move forward. It's difficult. It is difficult.
There's been a lot of news lately about small town recovery, and it's different. People are getting deliveries or just running in and out of a big box store. Small town USA is tough.
Yeah, you're trying to rework your jobs and your hours to try to, facilitate parenting and camp and home camp and all these different things. And it's very different at the moment. And I think as a group, everyone's doing pretty well trying to stay ahead of everything.
I mean, there's some folks that still haven't really left their house that I know that have just gotten all their groceries delivered for this entire time.
I haven't been in a store yet.
Oh, there you
go. Nope. And I made my first public outing this week when I saw you, Jeremy. That was like the first time I was in somewhat of an outdoor only crowd.
Oh, I'm glad that I was one of the first people to see you.
You were like the first person I saw. Yeah, like 16 weeks. I'm walking outside in my neighborhood all the time, but I am one of those people who is getting everything delivered, and the magic box we call the UPS truck. Almost every day something's coming. So it is hard.
Yeah,
it is
really
hard. But I think the Facebook posts definitely help, and maybe it helps. Do you think you're getting more people to like the town Facebook page,
Absolutely.
Betsy?
Oh yeah.
So when it's shared to other things, then people know that the town is posting. So it's a win-win. It's good for the business and it's good for the town, because whether it's weather related or business related, I mean, you still want to increase. I mean, hopefully that page gets up to thousands and thousands to kind of replicate the number of residents we have.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing with social media, and this is a new thing in town and based on in the social media world. There's a new Woodbridge Bethany community page. And they've got a lot of people on it very quickly. I know the people that are administering it. They're people I've known for a long time and whatnot. I'm actually not a part of it yet. But it seems like they're very diplomatic in trying to figure out how they're going to work it, and they're open for businesses to promote their businesses within a tasteful way and promoting each other and sharing ideas and things like that. I don't know. We haven't really gotten involved with posting in the other community page, but if there's some way to tastefully share our post to that page so that it gets seen more.
They had Small Business Saturday. They had a Small Business Saturday where the admins asked for people to post. So I don't know if you have to be the business to post on your own behalf, or can anyone share a page? It doesn't seem like the typical, I need an electrician and there's 20 suggestions thrown out, some of whom are electricians and some are just referrals. So I don't know, but I know that page is new, and you're right, got a lot of people really fast.
Yeah, I mean, Betsy, I'll let you sort of just make a judgment as to whether we want to even get involved in pages like that, because we have to be very careful where we sort of post and stuff like that. But it just isn't like a very active community group. It's not just Woodbridge though. I think it's all Woodbridge, Orange, Bethany. I think
just Woodbridge, Bethany.
Just Woodbridge, Bethany. Yeah.
So it's been. There's no official policy or anything, but I think when I first started, I tried to join the original Woodbridge Bethany forum, and I wasn't allowed in because I'm not a resident. But since then, I've thought, with all these other new groups, that on the one hand, it would be very convenient if I could be part of them and share our stuff to those pages. But on the other hand, I'm also worried that there's then an expectation that I can't live up to respond to all of the questions or statements, whether they're, neutral or negative about town politics, or whether the transfer station's open, or
Yeah, no, I hear you.
this is happening, and
Yeah.
I just can't keep up with all of
No,
that.
no, and you shouldn't have to. It's not.
So I'll agree with that. When I worked at the JCC and I would post in the moms group and the forum this and the group that about JCC events, you would get comments about the event, but then you would also get other comments like, what time are you open until? And how much is this? And it opens up a can of worms sometimes.
All right, so forget that idea.
But we can share.
Right.
Yeah, and that's very
sure.
helpful. It's definitely, and sometimes other people on their own share to the pages too, and that's definitely helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
I mean, I'll be sharing about
Our-
an upcoming community event, and I mean, hopefully that'll be well received too.
Yeah.
Our small town has 3 Facebook groups that all generally serve the same purpose, at least. And not to mention the PTO groups and the whatever. It's a lot of groups.
There's a lot of groups. A lot of groups.
Just in terms of just thinking about Meals on Wheels and these food trucks that are out there, and the fact that we don't have these, we're not doing the music festivals obviously this year. Is there any way that we as a economic development can sponsor a food truck or promote a food truck coming into the center of town by the green, where we tell people at 1 o'clock, XYZ truck is going to be there serving lunch. Come out and support your local food truck and get some people together, socially distanced, to meet in the center of town in July to get lunch, and that's it. I don't know if we have zoning laws that prevent that, but I just think it may be just nice ways to create a community. It was nice to see 10 or 15 people down and on Research Drive, and you said for lunch there were 30 people, Debbie.
We had about 25-ish for lunch. I don't count Meredith's family, so maybe 30 for lunch. And we had about 25 for dinner. And everybody wore masks and everybody was spread apart, but so excited to wave to each other and smile with their eyes, you know?
Can we do that, Betsy?
We could, I think, but we'd need to get it's a little but then there's really only 2 food trucks that are local. So we've got Street and Savory and now the Neil's Wheels truck.
Oh, there's no other. I thought there were a couple others.
None that I know of that are based in town, but that does remind me, because the Child Center did an incredibly successful food truck festival last year as a fundraiser. I want to say they did it in August or September.
I think it was a Friday. I remember I went. I don't remember the time, but it was hot.
It was hot, so maybe it was September. Maybe it wasn't August. I'm not sure. But I wonder if they're going to be able to do that again, or something like that. It was very successful financially for them. And I know, I think people, like you're right, would love to see each other if it was done in a way that's safe.
Just a thought. Just trying to think about ways that people, there's some families, the kids are back to camp and, they're doing what they need to do. And then kids are stuck at home and they're not seeing friends, and virtual things sort of not the greatest for them. And just to get out and just actually go like 3 minutes down the road to town would be.
Right. And even if it's not a hangout, which I can understand some people are leery of, but even if it's just a pickup, just to be able to be amongst other people for the 10 minutes that you're waiting in line at a 6-foot spaced cone is still some sense of normalcy while you pick up your order.
Betsy, you were advertising them for when they were down on Research Drive.
Yeah.
But I don't think OPG is in their offices. They're probably still working from home. They were the organizers, right?
Yeah.
Sean, what were you saying?
Oh, well, I mean, so, like Betsy said, there's, a handful of trucks that, Colwood Bridge, they're home for business. I mean, as far as the other food trucks, a friend and neighbor of mine has had the Zupardi's truck just show up in his driveway, you know, every like 3 weeks or so. And, you know, there's maybe like, you know, a handful of neighbors that just go over there and, you know, grab a couple of pies on an evening. So that's been nice. And I think that's might make people feel a little safer than having it, you know, in the center of town. But then how would that help our own businesses? And the only thing that could come to mind is if they could work out some kind of like cross promotion where, you know, a truck from out of town hooks up with one of the restaurants in town, and they can maybe, you know, like again, have like some kind of crossover promotion. That's kind of reaching.
Yeah, I guess it becomes it sounds easier at first, and then it becomes harder once you start thinking about the but all right, well, we can think about it. It could be something that can happen through email if we, you know, figure out something that sounds like it would work for the center of town. Betsy, did you want to talk about the last item on the agenda, the marketing?
Yeah, so there was one other survey. So quite a while ago when we first started talking about the survey, we also had on the back burner an idea to do a survey of residents about kind of businesses they'd like to see in town. And I found a template which is incredibly long, but I thought it might be a good starting point. And I think it's 10 pages, 13 pages long. And I don't know, I mean, maybe this is something that we do after we do the survey of the existing businesses. Maybe this is something that just kind of sits in our back pocket for a little while. You know, I'm just kind of unsure of the timing of all of this stuff. I've been hearing how quickly real estate is selling. Told we have a lot of new residents now, so I'm very curious. I don't have any information on it, but I'd be very curious to know, you know, do these new residents, are they going to be operating businesses out of their homes? Are they looking for real estate to have like a small office, assuming that they're coming from New York? I'm just kind of curious of like what sort of economic impact they're going to have aside from, you know, maybe pushing up home prices a little bit.
Yes,
And or
please.
do they have different tastes? Do they want to buy things that we don't have in town? Is there a way to capitalize on this?
So maybe this is something also good for the fall once all the new folks kind of settle in. You have to assume July, August, early September should be traditionally, as always, even without pandemic, the popular move-in times. That I mean, I took a quick look at it. It is long. I mean, it's not it's super
very long.
detailed. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that it could be really chopped down. I don't know if it has to wait for the business one to be done. Maybe it goes first, and then we could kind of preface the business survey with a snippet of data from the resident survey to kind of maybe motivate them to fill it out, that we want to kind of make a match.
Yeah, or they could go out simultaneously. There's probably not too much overlap in audiences. And I was thinking back to the forum that we did with our commercial real estate owners, property owners. You know, is data we'll be able to get from this to say to them, hey, you know, that empty office space you have, you know, residents say they'd like to have a, you know, ice cream store or you know, whatever it is. I feel like that's probably even more relevant and important now. As we're seeing some spots empty out.
Maybe we can. Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, can we? Who in town hall is the first to is notified of new residents closing?
I think it would be the town clerk where they have to file their closing paperwork.
Can we like put together a letter that goes out to those new residents every time there's a closing? We just send something out saying, "Welcome to town," you know, or from, and just sort of introduce ourselves as a quick.
Debbie.
Welcome to Woodbridge Packet is online. We had grand plans of knocking on doors and doing some old-fashioned meet and greets, but we're prevented from doing that now. So yeah, we were going to use the closing data from the MLS, whether we had their names or not from the town clerk. We could certainly have their addresses from
Right.
the MLS and reach out to those new residents. But I think with the survey, maybe between now and the next meeting, I don't know if we're meeting in August or not, but now in the next meeting, maybe we all take a look and kind of circle our couple of favorite sections and X out a few, and then maybe we can all agree on the must-have sections and easy ones to delete, because it's really lengthy.
Yeah, it's way more detail than we would.
Mhm.
But back to Jeremy's comment, and I know that you had planned meet and greets, but is right now the only way for people to find out about the booklet, whether in paper or online, is just to go to the website, and then you find out that there's a booklet about Woodbridge?
Right. So I shared it to the Woodbridge Bethany Forum. I think the original, not the new. And my plan was to post it maybe just once a month in various groups, so that as new people move to town, and maybe you join the Moms of Bethany Orange Woodbridge, or maybe you join the new Bethany Woodbridge Forum somehow.
Right.
And
No,
then
and
Beecher, and if Beecher PTO kind of sends out the link, hopefully Betsy can get some clicks on it.
But I remember when I first came back to town in 2003 that, you know, I searched it out and I found the booklet. You know, it wasn't easy to find. And I know it's different now because everything's online, but I wonder if it's just even worth a postcard and a postcard stamp to send to the new residents. Hey, you know, go to our website and you can get this great resource for newcomers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is the community council doesn't have a budget for that, but if
We do.
there's some swing space in the town hall budget or through the EDC budget that we could share, if there's 100 closings, we're looking at $50 in postage and probably $20 on a nice, even if it's a homemade postcard or even letterhead with an envelope from the town. It shouldn't add up to much. Just we have nothing
think
to
it's a good
start
idea.
with.
I think it's a good idea that could point them to a place where they can get the information.
And maybe there's a local business that wants to do, maybe it is a letterhead from the town. Maybe a new resident would be apt to open a letter with the town envelope on it, thinking, oh, it must be important, we just moved to town. And it could be a letter from town hall welcoming them, and maybe a local business can rotate in and do like a bill stuffer. As long as it doesn't increase the postage, they can put in a flyer or a coupon or something. You know, one sheet of letterhead and one half a page like a flyer shouldn't increase the postage. And that showcases a business and welcomes people to town and has the link to the booklet. And that's a combo between EDC and community council. So
I think it's a good idea.
what do you think that would fly, Bets?
It might. It always comes down to who has time to do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's why I think just keep it simple. Just, you know, a little postcard with the website, the Facebook link, and it's pre-made. You don't even,
Right.
you know, I'm,
Completely pre-printed, dear, you know, welcome new resident.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it doesn't have to be dated or personalized.
Right. Welcome to town. Here's a couple. Here's some information on how you can get some information on where you can go to town to do X, Y, Z, and welcome to town and call us if you have any information, kind of thing. But it's just a one thing that we do one time. We have 100 copies, and it just
Yeah.
gets stuffed in an envelope and sent out.
I just don't know if custom printing a postcard with a graphic designer will end up being more expensive than a couple of sheets on letterhead with envelopes that Betsy can print out. You know, hit a button and hit 6, and then or 10 or something like that. Where if like a full color postcard is designed, it might actually end up costing more. But I don't know for sure.
It could be a form letter too. I just don't want it something where it's like, you know, it's going to be tasking on someone. So if it's a form letter with a, you know, a stamped signature from whoever that signature is,
Yeah, generic.
great. But I just don't want it to task anyone more than just the letter to go out and saying welcome to town, and it basically stuffing the envelope and running it through the stamper.
Right.
I don't know. It's just gonna be a nice touch. If we start that feel when someone moves into town, then they'll have a nice warm fuzzy feeling when they get here, and be more interested to be adventurous around town and see what we have.
Betsy, could we put it on the other agenda, or you think it's better to sit in this council, this commission?
It seems thematically more tied into what the community council was doing. So we could put it on that agenda, but just so you guys know, the other difficulty with welcoming new residents, and maybe it's less of an issue right now, is that often, well, not necessarily oftentimes, but you don't always know, is the person buying a house a new resident, or is it somebody upsizing or downsizing or investing? So you're sending a letter saying welcome new resident, but really it's Cleo moving down the street.
But if they get, someone gets upset, no, I'd rather waste
yeah,
the
it's not that
50
big of
cents
a
on
deal.
that person, and then be like, oh, I got this twice, than not do
Yeah,
it. I guess.
and some of them we can eyeball before the stamps go on.
Yeah, no, I'm just that's.
But it is true. We talked about that in the community council too, and we don't know if it's an investment. But if the tenant gets it, then they're also welcome. So.
Yeah.
But it's the upsize downsize. Someone says, "Oh, I've lived in town for 30 years. I just moved from a colonial to a ranch just to downsize," and they're getting a welcome. It's okay, but we could probably weed those out.
Betsy, did you want to talk about the video, the marketing?
Yes. So I was approached last week, I think it was, by a company called CGI, and they did videos for the town 3 years ago that are currently on the town's website. And the videos were done for free, and they asked us to send a letter on their behalf to local businesses, inviting the businesses to buy an ad that would go, it would be a link next to the video. So when you click on the video, a window pops up and there's an ad that you can choose to watch or not. It's not like YouTube where you're required to watch the ad before you see the thing that you want to watch. It's off to the side. There's no minimum number of ads that need to be sold. So we've got a series of videos that they did for us 3 years ago on the website, and they're reaching out now because they're doing additional videos for folks or municipalities during the pandemic. And so just last night, the Board of Selectmen authorized Beth to sign on to do this additional video that we would be able to put up and then take down once we get out of the pandemic. But I think I sent a link for you guys in the email I sent out yesterday. It's really designed to kind of be a thing promoting the town. And I was thinking of it specifically promoting businesses, not any one particular business, the way that the interns are going to be helping with the business of the week, but rather just kind of a more generic, we're open for business type video. And the videos that they did they're very professional and really nice looking. I thought that was a little bit of good news.
That is good news. How are we going to? So are they going to take? They're just going to take it into their own hands on how they're going to.
So I would need to give them guidance because they're not a Connecticut company. They don't know anything about Woodbridge other than what we tell them. So I would have to get a list of businesses for them to visit and maybe some scenery that we might want them to shoot. And I bet they also have B-roll from when they were here a couple of years ago of maybe the Fitzgerald Field or trails or a residential area. But so if you guys have thoughts on businesses that it might make sense for them to get shots of, I saw another video that I think the city of New Haven did. That's a very similar concept where it's an employee handing a to-go bag of food to somebody, and the recipient and the employee are both wearing masks, and just kind of like showing that precautions are being taken, but also like a very good feel-good video about, we're all in this together, we're getting through it, we're working hard, and we're going to come out stronger and better at the end.
Would it be advantageous for them or for us for them to jump on one of our like our next meeting as to get some feedback from us, or are they just gonna?
I'm hoping that they can get started before that.
Okay.
But like I said, if you guys have, I'm going to be calling them tomorrow or Monday.
Okay, let's move along.
But I don't think I'll have the list. I'm not going to have the list ready by then. But if there's businesses you think that would make sense, that would be really good to highlight. Please send me an email and I can start making up the list of businesses to approach about participating.
Is there a number that will fit in the video best?
I'm not sure yet.
And is it only restaurant and retail, or are you looking for services?
I think services too. I mean, I think the JCC is so, tied up identity-wise with the town. It would make sense to get an interior or exterior shot of any precautions being taken at the JCC. Certainly some restaurants. I would think
The brewery.
the brewery again is another big
Yeah.
one. So
One of the
I
farms.
think,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sorry?
Massaro.
yeah,
So is it a, and I apologize if you mentioned this, is this like a COVID related marketing
Yes.
video, or just a regular marketing Woodbridge video?
this one is specifically about COVID and working through the pandemic.
Okay. Okay. We'll send you a couple names.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And it's going to be circulated through social media.
It'll
the
live on our website, and then we can put the link out on Facebook.
Cool. Great. That'll be something that you can share on those community pages. Not you necessarily, but us as a commission, we could go out and share that on those pages for sure.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, great. So we'll send you a couple suggestions. Thank you.
Yeah, please.
I guess the last item on the agenda is other. I'm not too sure what other business there is.
So I'll announce the new business in town as other. And full disclosure, I work with them a little bit. So as Jeremy said, he and I met up on Tuesday. Able Caterers, which has been in town almost 50 years, just acquired a new food truck, and they're calling it Neil's Wheels. If you don't know, Neil Abel was the founder of Able Caterers, and his daughter Meredith now runs it. And now she has her own daughter who's nicknamed Neely. So it's really cute naming. And they are going to be thin crust New Haven style pizza. But because Abel's is a full service caterer, she could put anything on the truck. You want New York style deli. You want, we're calling it a tailgater package of burgers and fried chicken. Do you want falafel and kebabs? They can load the truck with whatever you want. But it is primarily a pizza truck. It has legit pizza ovens and all of that already inside. And it's pulled by a trailer, so she can haul it pretty much anywhere. So we encourage all our residents in our neighboring towns to find ways to have a block party, or if you're a business owner, maybe you can host something for your employees in your parking lot. Or if you missed out on a graduation or a birthday or a funeral call, anything where you think people can now safely gather. I think these food trucks are going to be really good for families, and everything is individually packaged and everything is outside, and it's a safe way to gather.
Yeah, the pizza was good. My boys ate the entire thing. So.
Wasn't it good? It's
Yeah.
really good, thin crust
Absolutely.
pizza. So we hope the town embraces her, and she's very philanthropic and has donated for the frontline workers and the Mass for Connecticut volunteers. She really donates a lot. So I hope people support her.
Very good. Anybody else with any other business?
Sean, it looked like you had something to say.
I was just curious, do they have a website?
Yeah, it's the Able Caterers website.
Oh,
And
okay.
on Facebook, it's Able Caterers. And if you get the town Facebook post too, Betsy did a nice post, and you can click right on that to the link to Able's. And we're just working on the pricing and the packaging now. But we have a couple of bookings already, which is nice.
Yeah, we may have to do a pokey party.
Yeah, she could do poke. Yeah, the hokey pokey party. Yeah. Anything you need.
Anybody else? Betsy, anything else?
Yeah, I've got one last announcement. So at last night's Board of Selectmen meeting, First Selectman Beth Heller announced that she's created a task force called the 2030 Task Force. And the goal of the group is to take a big picture look and do some big thinking about how to grow and expand the grand list. And sure, you guys know, we just recently did a revow. And because we have so many homes that are single family homes and the majority of them are larger homes, statewide homes in that category have been losing value. Things may change now because of the pandemic. But because such a large proportion of our grand list relies on homes in that category, the grand list went down. So one thing we're looking at is how do you grow the grand list? A lot of other towns have much larger portion of businesses paying into the grand list. We have a very small portion. So how do you make the town more attractive to businesses? Do we need to allow density in the business district? Do we need to expand the business district? Do we need to diversify our housing stock? And some of it is stuff that you guys have already been talking about, like the incentive program, the beautification program. Are there other things we need in the business district, like infrastructure that would make it more exciting or tempting for businesses to either come here or grow?
Can we put the tax abatement discussion back on a future agenda?
Yes. And so she announced this group last night. That's what they'll be looking at. So those are some of the ideas that she's going to ask them to look into, and anything else, any other ideas they have that might be useful to us in expanding and diversifying the grand list. And Jeremy was appointed to sit on the task force along with Rob Klee, who is chair of zoning, Susan Jacobs, who is on the Board of Finance, Garrett Luciani, who's senior vice president at People's United Bank, and oh my gosh, why am I blanking on his name? The guy who runs the Chris Dickerson, thank you. The guy who runs the running store.
Woodbridge Running.
Yeah. And am I missing anybody, Jeremy?
I think that's it.
Jeremy, Rob. Yeah, the five people. So we're hoping it's going to be a really good mix of people who have different perspectives on finances in the town, running a business in the town, all of those sorts of things. So you know, Jeremy's going to be sort of the EDC voice and also the realtor voice on that committee. So
Great, Jeremy. Good job.
hoping it'll be really good.
The 2030 committee. So we got 10 years to go.
Yep.
Don't go anywhere.
You got time.
I got time. But no, it'll be exciting. Hopefully we can move some stuff forward and get some of the stuff that we're talking about on a monthly basis, sort of really moving forward and get some wheels. And I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. The guys and the people I know on the commission or on that committee, some of them I've known for a while, and I think it'll be nice to from different walks of life and have different perspectives on things. And I think it'll be a good group to sort of try to walk this forward. We'll see. We'll see.
Great. Great. Betsy, are we meeting in August or?
I can't remember. I forgot to look at the list before we came. I feel like we put it on the calendar just in case, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we just kind of put it there as a placeholder in case we're around.
Yeah, what do we think?
I'm
Do we wanna
away
meet?
from the 7th to the 14th.
Lucky you, going somewhere.
It would be the second.
We're driving.
So it would be the 13th is what it would be.
Do we
I mean,
want to change the date or not meet, or what do you think?
It's up to you all. I mean, Toby can lead it as the vice, or changing the date. Is that a difficult way to do a special meeting, Betsy?
I think we should meet, especially since we have these 2 surveys that maybe we can, between now and then, we can look at, but that's just me.
I'm fine with meeting, and it'd be interesting, especially since the interns are going to be doing stuff. It'll be interesting to get some feedback as to what they've been doing.
Okay.
I'm just not. I can zoom in from the Cape most likely. I'm just going to be in Mass, so if we're zooming,
We'll
it
definitely be
changes things.
zooming.
It changes things, so I guess I can be there.
Well,
Okay.
you're still on vacation though, so that's
Yeah, but I
that's
don't
on you.
mind. It's 7. My kids have been asleep since 7. You know, they're sleeping, so.
So keep the same date?
I'm fine
That
with it
works
if
for
that's what we
everybody?
want to do.
August 13th?
I can do it.
I'm
Okay.
running.
Okay.
You sure you don't want to ask your wife first, Jeremy?
Okay. If you won't mind. Like I said, I've got Toby in case, just in case. Just
All
in
right.
case.
You're on the hook, Toby.
All right. Thank you,
Everyone
everyone. I got to hop, but thank you. Good to see everyone.
All right.
Bye.
All right, so we're adjourning at 7:55. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
Thanks,
Seconded.
Sean. Thanks, Cleo. All right, good night, everyone.
All right. Take care, everyone. Good seeing you.
Good night.
Guys.
Bye-bye.